Welcome to the Trinity Student Ministry Podcast. My name's Ty Combs.
And I am Andy Ramirezma. We lead student ministry at a Trinity Church in Indianapolis, Indiana.
This is an ongoing conversation for all middle school and high school students about God and culture.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TC_studentmen for daily updates and information.
What's up, everybody? We start like that I gotta find a better thing to say. Hello, everybody. It's Ty Combs here, and I'm here with our good friend Shalyn Rathbun. What's up, Shay?
Hey, Ty.
What'd you do today?
Today I worked out. I did weights for basketball, so that was fun.
Getting swole. Sweet. So, Shay, tell us a little bit about yourself. For those of you who don't know Shay, she is... Well, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm Shalyn Rathbun. I just turned 18 yesterday.
Woo!
Woohoo! I go to HSC High School. I play basketball there. Love my family and friends, and love going to church.
Nice. So you had a birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you do anything fun for your birthday?
Yeah, I went to my cousins, the Shigleys. A lot of you guys might know them. But we just hang out by the pool and watch the sunset. And before that, like the day before, we went cliff jumping with my friends.
Yeah, I don't know the right verb for that either.
Yeah.
Cliff jump diving? Cliff dive jumping?
I don't know.
Cliff diving dumping? I saw a picture of you guys in the middle of the road on a couch. Is that right?
Yeah.
Can you help me understand that?
Yeah, so we went like chasing the sunset last night, and my cousins had just a couch in their back of their car because one of my cousins, Noah, he was like moving into his house that he's with his friends.
Okay.
And so they haven't moved it out yet. So we were like, let's get the couch out. And like the road wasn't that busy, but
Okay. I thought you found a couch in the middle of the road.
no.
Okay, that helps.
That would have been funny.
Sweet. So when you chased the sunset, did you ever catch it?
No.
Oh, bummer.
Why can I never catch it?
Maybe next time. Cool. All right. Well, we are going to jump in. Happy birthday, Shay.
Thank you.
Welcome to adulthood. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. I wish I could go back to being 17 too. So sorry. It's okay. 18 can be fun too. All right. So Shay, on social media, on like Instagram and stuff, we say social media.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is there anything that high schoolers use besides Instagram?
Yeah.
Maybe Snapchat,
like Twitter, and Snapchat.
See, I came from the time when like Facebook was the only one, and now I feel like an old guy when I'm like,
no, it's okay.
thanks, Shay. You're making me feel better about being like the old youth pastor. I gave Andy the Instagram account login because he's way...
I mean, your wife has Instagram, so I mean...
Yeah, everybody in my life's way cooler than I am. Is
no,
basically
you're
what
cool,
we're
Ty.
saying.
No.
Thanks, Shay. You have to say that. I know. All right. So anyway, on Instagram, I saw that you and some friends... I just saw pictures of you guys all on the top of like the downtown Fishers parking garage. And I saw... There were police officers in the picture, and you had a sign that said Black Lives Matter. So can you just tell us about what you guys did, why you did it, and what the outcome was of that?
Yeah, so my friend, she's a photographer, and she just got a bunch of people from our school and our community together, like all races, mostly like blacks and whites, because that's the issue that's going on right now. And we just got together, and it was just a peaceful like photo shoot. We just had signs, and we were smiling, and there were like some serious ones too, because it is a serious matter, but we were just having fun. And then like 2 cops showed up, and we thought we were in trouble, but they were like, you want to come join our photo shoot? And one was like, no, I don't want my people to see like my small calves or whatever. And I was like, what? But then the other cop joined in, and then the other one joined in, so both of them like joined our photo shoot for a little bit, and they had fun. So
now
it was awesome.
Everybody's gonna go back and try to zoom in on
shoot.
that dude's calves and comment like crazy. So that's cool that the cops like joined you. So what do you think like the outcome of that was, of that photo shoot, of like having just like conversation with cops? Because like you said, you had a lot of your black friends with you, and there were cops there, and that's kind of like the tension point in a lot of ways right now, is just white male cops and black people.
Mhm.
So seeing that interaction take place, what would you say like the outcome was of that specific?
Well, I think like my black friends that were there, I don't know like what they were thinking, but I've
Mhm.
had black friends tell me like what they think when they step outside and their fear they're in and all this.
Mhm.
But like when the cops showed up, they're like very nice and they wanted to take pictures with us and everything. So I think like if one cop does something bad, everyone stereotypes the rest of them, or if one black does something bad, then everyone stereotypes that person, and it's just like the 1 or 2%, that's bad, and
Right.
the rest is good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the picture of specifically the police officer holding the sign.
Yeah.
It said Black Lives Matter while there's black teenagers around him
Mhm.
smiling, and that was just really cool to see. I was really proud of you guys when I saw that picture.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So, all right, we're gonna jump in today. I'm gonna ask you a few questions, Shay. So those of you that know Shalyn, we call her Shay, just to clear that up. Those of you that know Shay knows that she loves her friends a ton and her family a ton. So I have just a few questions I wanted to ask you because you have such great relationships with the people around you. Everybody knows that. And when people describe Shay Rathbun, they're probably like, oh yeah, she's like such a great friend. She loves everybody. So I'm going to ask you just a couple questions because like I want to learn from you about how you are such good friends
Mhm.
with the people around you and your family. So what are some of the most important relationships in your life? Give me, I don't know. Give me like 1 to 5.
Okay. Well, I like think my family, so like my mom and my dad was a big one, and my relationship with God, if that counts, if we're counting that one.
Good answer. Good answer.
Thank you. Then like just my close friends too, so like Gabby and my siblings, so Jeremiah, James, Alyssa. Like I'm really close with my family and my friends.
Yeah. So I know that you are super tight with your mom.
Mhm.
How did that come about? Because I know a lot of us and a lot of students in Fishers, there are definitely seasons, and high school seems to be one of those seasons where you kind of just tolerate living at home, and your parents are often like the bad guys in your life that just give you rules, and you know what I mean? They don't get me, they don't understand me, kind of a thing. But I don't get that sense from you. So how did you get such a good relationship with your mom? I know that's a big question, but
yeah. Well, I think I was just lucky enough to grow up in a household where my mom and dad grew up Christian, and they wanted to raise us that way too. So just that, and they disciplined us when we were young, which I don't know, it's getting there. Just wait a second. And my mom, like, she's my mom and she's my parent, but she also like goofed around, and she was like my best friend when I was younger, and we just built that trust. And so when I like became a teen in the rebellious years or whatever you call it, I always could trust and go to her no matter what. And she like, even like if I mess something up, she would just forgive me like Jesus like forgives us, and I just like love that for her, like love her because of that.
That's awesome. I think that having fun with your parents, some of you listening right now, when you hear that, you're like cringing at the thought. In fact, I have a couple specific conversations of students who say like, oh, my dad's going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you now in high school have fun with your mom?
We go for a lot of car rides and just blaring music, because we do like shopping together, grocery shopping and stuff, so she's not like alone. And then we just like vacations and just having fun at home and just conversations. It's like she even like joins my friends sometimes because everybody loves my mom. We call her Mama R. And so it's just taking small moments and just making them fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really envy that, and I think a lot of us do. And I mean, we all know this, but it's true that your parents and your siblings are the one friends that you are guaranteed to have for life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's worth investing in. And now I know that you're super tight with your siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's similar. You guys just have like a fun household.
Yeah.
So I think when I look at you guys, I know that you guys are super close and can talk about whatever and have been through a lot together. But I really do think that it's rooted a lot in the fun that you guys have had
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah.
That having fun leads to deeper relationships
Mm-hmm.
when you need them.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I'd also say we're close because we've been through a lot together, and
Mhm.
we've been through like tough conversations that most families like wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and we don't like hide stuff from each other, and we're honest with each other. And so it's just that trust and having fun and like realizing like my siblings aren't bad. They're not like after to destroy me or something.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so that's fun.
Do you ever fight with your family?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think a lot of people probably think like,
No.
oh, not just you guys, but when you see like a family that gets along,
Uh-huh.
you're like, oh, they're just perfect. Like they don't get it.
Yeah, I've gotten that a lot actually.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your family, like, or I've gotten, oh, your family's really religious, or oh, your family's this or that, you know. And I'm just like, you don't see behind the curtains. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, and once like my friends come in or like they see, we don't fight a lot. I'm not saying we fight a lot. It's just
Right.
like every family has their like picks that they get at each other or whatever. And so,
Yeah.
but we work through them, I think is the best part.
Yeah, I think for me, so my family never really like fought or disagreed,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't really talk about stuff that was worth fighting about.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't talk about like opinions as much. We just talked about facts that were like you couldn't disagree on. You know what I mean? But then like Kelly's family, when I got married to Kelly and stepped into her family, they remind me a lot of your family. They love each other so intensely, but they also are not afraid to fight. And there are times where I'm like, oh no, like we're never going to be close with your sister again because you guys are fighting. But then like 2 days later, everything's
Yeah.
fine. And I'm learning that if you're not willing to like, not like I'm using the word fight, but disagree and
Yeah.
talk about it and confront issues,
Mm-hmm.
you have to love your family enough to be willing to confront
Mhm.
them, looking for a resolution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's one thing to fight just to say like you're wrong, I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that when I look at your family and when I look at Kelly's family and other like functional families, when they fight, they're looking for a resolution. They're not looking just to be right. They're looking to
Yeah.
come back to loving each
Mhm.
other. Would
Yeah.
you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think like adding on to that, I think it's like once like you fight or with your friends or your family or argue or whatever it is, like you can't hold on to that. Like you have to just let it go, forgive or
Mhm.
whoever was in the wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
And because it's not worth holding on to.
Awesome. Okay, now I want to shift to talking about your friends. You have a lot of friends,
Yeah.
and I know that you're super tight with your friends. I'm trying to think of the right way to word this question. How do you know who to be friends with?
Oh,
So,
wow.
so that's a big question, and
Yeah.
I'll elaborate a little bit on what I mean. When you meet somebody, if they're different from you in their beliefs or how they grew up or what their family unit looks like, if it's different from you, are you kind of like, we're not going to have much in common, so maybe it's not worth it?
No.
Or so then how do you be friends with people that are so different from you?
Well, I don't know. I kind of, for me, it's just, you just have to invest in friendships. And if someone's different from you or believes something different, doesn't mean you can't be friends. You just have to love them. I like always think of if someone's different or if someone believes a different, something about their religion or their relationship with God, then I just have to love them like Jesus did. Because I
Mhm.
can't, like, I don't even deserve to be loved sometimes. So
Mhm.
I just want to love them like Jesus did.
That's so
Does,
good.
I mean.
Yeah, yeah. So let's say you have a friend
Mm-hmm.
that you meet at school, through basketball, through work, whatever it is. A friend who you get along with and they're like fun to talk to and hang out with and stuff, but they're not a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like kind of rank that friendship differently in your mind? Are you kind of like, okay, I can talk to this person, but I can't really like, it's not worth my time to really talk to them because they're not like me and I don't want to be dragged down?
Mhm.
Or when you meet somebody like that, is it the opposite where you're like, oh, I need to be friends with this person because I need to tell them about Jesus and I need to change their lives? Or is it somewhere in between? How do you approach a friendship with somebody who's not a Christian?
Well, I don't throw my relationship like that I have with God onto them, because that's people just take it wrong sometimes. And like when I become friends with like a non-Christian or someone that doesn't believe, I just like after a few days of knowing me, you'll know like I have a relationship with God. Like I love him and I love going to church, because I'm not going to hide it. So but like I'm also not mean about it. I just love them and we have fun, and it's not something. And then once we grow that relationship, I might like have a conversation with them, or hey, do you want to go to youth group? Or so like I had a friend, Gabby, I think you guys all know her.
Yo, what's up, Gabby?
She like went to Catholic school, church, which is great, but like she fell from like that and everything after some traumatic stuff happened. And so we became really close friends through basketball, and we just connected over just having fun, and we both went through similar traumatic stuff. And so after we got like close, I was like, hey Gabby, do you want to come to church or whatever? Or and sometimes she'd ask me like tough questions like, hey, why are you happy when like you're going through rough stuff or stuff like that? I was like, well, I want to show you, just come like to church with me or whatever. But like I also don't push it. Like I've asked her like when we first started like a lot, and then we just kept going being friends, and then she would ask me, I was like, hey, so when are you having youth group? I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, you can come. But so
I'm so glad that you're friends with Gabby. Gabby's awesome. We love Gabby. I hope Gabby's listening to this because we're saying Gabby a ton right now.
Gabby.
But yeah, I remember this is crazy. Day after your birthday. I remember at your birthday party 2 years ago, we were there. It was at the Shunem house, and Gabby was there.
Oh, yeah.
And you had like told me about your friend Gabby. I went to one of your basketball games and she was there. And yeah, it's cool for me as your youth pastor to see that you were friends with her 2 years ago, and I kind of knew her, but you just like stayed friends with her, and you're right, you didn't like force her to either come to youth group or don't be my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's also like not my, like it's our job to like go out and, like make disciples, but it's like Gabby coming to church, it's none of me. Like it's all God working through me. So I take no credit. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. Amen. That's such a good point. Also that it just like takes time. Like even Jesus, some people he would have like a crazy encounter with, and after 1 minute, like I think in the beginning of Mark, there's this guy that's up in the mountains and he's like demon possessed. And he comes down, talks to Jesus one time, and then the rest of his life, he's a believer. But then there's also people that take a lot of talking to. Like most of his disciples followed him for 3 years and still didn't really figure it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So some friendships, the gospel is ready day one. Yeah. But some friendships, it takes just 3 years of building a relationship for things to change. Do you have relationships in your life, and I'm really not asking this hoping that you answer one way or the other. Do you have relationships in your life that give you energy and some that take away your energy? You know what I mean? Some that you're like, oh, I just love being with this person. They make me feel amazing and I'm like pumped, versus friendships that you're like, when like you hang out with them, you love them, you want to spend time with them, but when you go into that relationship, you're like, all right, here we go. Lord, give me the strength I need. Do you have those?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely have friends where I'm like, okay, I can just go relax and have fun with them, and have a good time, and that's awesome. And I also have like friends where like I go, and it's mostly the friends where like they don't believe the same as me or something like that, and that's not a bad thing. It's just like sometimes it can be exhausting when when I'm investing time to like love them and disciple them, or because I'm discipling like friends right now, and sometimes it can be like exhausting just to do it by yourself. So like if that happens, like I just like go to like someone who like like builds me back up and like tries to like just disciple me while I disciple them.
So how do you go into those relationships and those times when you know it's going to be like kind of tiring and exhausting? How do you keep going?
Well, I just know that's a good question. Well, like I keep going because I know if I'm not like putting it all on me, but I like feel like God put this on me to disciple them, and if I don't follow through, then what's gonna happen? Because I want them in like in eternity with me.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give up on them, because like Christ never gave up on us, and yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I was gonna ask, you answered the next question. I was gonna ask, like, what if it doesn't change?
Oh.
What if it's just exhausting and exhausting and exhausting, and just nothing changes?
Yeah. I've had like a couple of those. Like, I invest like a lot of time into the friendship, and sometimes like I had a best friend in junior high, and I thought we were gonna be best friends for life, you know. And we just both went different paths, and we're still like friends, we're like acquaintances, we still talk, we're good. But like we just both like grew different ways, and that's sometimes God's plan, is to have that friendship out of your life if it's not like the right one at the time,
so that he can put somebody like Gabby in your life where you have the time and space for it. That's good to know, that it's not worth, you can't be best friends with everybody.
No.
You can't disciple everybody. So yeah, it's okay to let some friendships not go forever.
Yeah. And sometimes you're the planner and not like the person that waters them and grows them. Sometimes you just introduce them, and sometimes you don't get to see them grow, which is sad because I like saying that part. But
right, yeah.
Sometimes that's God's plan.
Yeah, that's such good wisdom, Shay, that it's okay that God's in control of even our friendships. All right, I've got a couple just kind of random questions. What advice would you give to 7th grade Shalyn Rathbun?
Oh, wow.
So this was like what, 5 years ago?
Yeah, 5 years ago.
What would you give advice to yourself 5 years ago?
Don't worry. Let go of past sins. Grow like good relationship with like people who are strong in Christ, because you do need to have those, so you can both build each other up. Don't worry about popularity or blah blah blah, or I hate that word, but just like be yourself. Don't change for anyone.
You said don't worry in your advice just now like 3 times. What I guess why have you been, what does worrying do to you personally?
Well, it tires me out a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not good, because why do we need to worry when God all has it in his hands, you know? And so I just like realized that when I like grew closer to God and like my relationships and with people, like, I mean, I still worry sometimes, but like once I realize I'm worrying, I'm like, I just need to let it go and give it to God, or like pray about it, or see what I can do about it. Reading the Bible is just not worth your time. And I used to give a lot of time to that.
Yeah. There's something crazy about the more trust you have in God, the more freedom you have. A lot of people, I think that Christianity is, we talked about this a few weeks ago, Andy and I did, that it's just a bunch of rules and like you got to live this way, and it's like captivity. You know what I mean? But what I hear you saying is that the more you trust God, the less you have to worry, and worry is real captivity. But when you trust God and you have that relationship, you have like freedom to live the life you want, to live the life you were created to have like intentional friendships that are really, really deep, not just surface level, and to really love your family and not just tolerate them. That's really good advice for 7th grade Shay, but also for all of us today. All right, this last question might be kind of weird, I don't know. What kind of person do you hope to be by the time you graduate college? So this is like
Wow.
5 years from now, right?
Yeah.
So we just did 5 years in the past. What do you hope to be 5 years in the future?
5 years in the future. Wow, I can't even think that far ahead, 'cause then I start worrying. But 5 years in the future, I would just want to be closer to God and grow my relationship to Him, and just I don't even know, ministry, or I don't know what. I'd have to pray about that and see what God has planned for me, 'cause I don't really like thinking about the future, which might be bad, but
No, you're all right.
Yeah.
That's an honest answer. One thing I love about both your answers that you just gave, and this is so crazy because this whole conversation has been about your friendships and your relationships with the people around you, but your advice to you 5 years ago and your hopes for 5 years from now had nothing to do with the people around you.
Mhm.
I don't know if you noticed that, but your answers were just about your relationship with God.
Mhm.
And your friendships flow out of that.
Yeah.
The relationships with your family flow out of that. Your
Mhm.
popularity
Mhm.
or lack thereof flows out of your relationship with God. So I think that's the real wisdom that you carry that you probably don't even realize, is that the relationships with the people around you are just an overflow of your relationship with God. And there's no sense in worrying
Mhm.
about them or stressing about them. It's okay relationships can be heavy, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? You can
Yeah.
be really, really sad for the people around you,
Mhm.
and that can really take over, but that's okay, because I think that's what Jesus did. He got so stressed to the point where he was sweating blood one time.
Mhm.
Relationships weigh heavy on him too, but it's out of his relationship with the Father.
Yeah.
Any last just little giblets of wisdom you want to throw our way, Shay, before we wrap up?
I don't know. Talking about relationships, I would just say the most important relationship I know, everybody probably knows, or is the relationship with God. And just like what you said, I didn't even notice that 5 years ahead and 5 years before,
Mhm.
I wasn't talking about my friendships now. I was talking about my friendship with God.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just really important, because once you grow that relationship, He'll just make the path for you. I'm not saying there's going to be hard times, because there will be hard times.
Yeah.
But it makes it better.
Awesome. Shay, we're so glad that you're part of TSM. You're awesome. Your wisdom is far beyond your years, even though you are technically an adult now. Welcome to adulthood.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, students, we'll see you soon, hopefully in person. Don't tell anybody, but I'm over the Zoom stuff. We gotta get some real human interaction going soon. It's coming soon. All right. Peace, everybody.